morning guys, and welcome to the video. We are up early today because we're training early. So just super small pre-workout snack. As you saw, 60 grams of whey protein from bulk, 100 grams of berries, some ice, some sweetener, and that is that. But super low cal, but it still tastes bomb. And if you make it really, really thick, it actually is decently satisfying. So I'm gonna get this down, like I said, really early, so don't have a bunch of time. Gonna hit some pre-workout, get that down, and I'll catch you guys in the gym for arms.
Alright, so we got arm day going down with Gav and Jordo. The saddle club is back together. First exercise, we've got a superset. So we're hitting V-bar push downs with a 1 second iso hold at the bottom, just so we're really controlling the load. And for a bit of exercise variation. And number two, we're going straight into a standing dumbbell curl, both arms together. But we're making sure we've got a 3 second negative. So really extending the negative phase of the movement. So we're gonna hit this for 4 rotations. So, superset number 2 going down. We've got doing dips, 10 reps, but really slowing up the negative, trying to blow up the tries. So like 3 second minimum when lowering down. Again, just for variation, we don't usually do slow negatives all the time. And then we're straight into an easy bar curl for 8 reps with the 35s. And again, 3 second negatives, trying to control the weight down. Arms are starting to blow up now, so should be getting a really good pump pretty soon. Third and final superset going down now. Starting with it's sort of like a skull crusher, sort of like a hybrid, I guess. It's on an incline bench, and you're bringing down to your forehead and sort of trying to push your elbows outwards, extending through the elbows. So some people call it a JM press, I just call it an incline skull crusher. Hitting that for 8 to 10, really nice and controlled again. That's sort of been the theme of today. And then we're going straight into alternating hammer curls, quite heavy. I was playing with the 20s and we're hitting 10 reps aside for that too. So we'll finish that 4 rounds and then we'll be done.
Bye.
Untitled 2 brekkie going down, just the usual, but we're at a different spot today. We're at Lady Latte. So got the usual couple of scrambled eggs, side of chicken breast, mushroom, and a couple pieces of sourdough. Gavin, for some reason, they gave him gluten-free bread, so Gavin probably needs to watch our last video on why you don't need to avoid gluten. So we're going to get this down, then we'll probably wrap it up, head home, and got a couple other topics I want to cover in a little sort of mini lecture, but I'll hit you that in the next clip. I want to let you guys know about my new nutrition book that is now available to purchase. So it was written along with the crew at JPS, Martin, Stacey, and Jacob. And the title of the book is The Science of Nutrition Made Easy. We're talking like a pretty thick textbook here. And I wrote around about a third of the whole textbook. And in my opinion, it is some of the best value nutritional information that is available on the market right now. I'll give you a peek at some of the contents. Like, we really go ham on everything. So you can see we're covering the fundamentals of adherence, macros, micros, meal frequency, supplements, factors that might impact your diet, the psychological stuff, motivation, behaviors, sleep and stress. A whole chapter on nutrition for health. So macros again, meal timing, deficiencies, metabolic syndrome. A chapter specific to fat loss, so adherence, what size of the deficit. Again, macros, what sort of composition, your fiber considerations, timing, frequency, energy flux, what sort of movements you should be looking for on the scale. A chapter on performance and muscle growth, and then a last 2 chapters on designing your diet. So basically telling you everything you need to know about how to create your own optimized diet. And then a final chapter on measurements and adjustments. How do you monitor your progress? How do you make sure that you're progressing as you want to be and making the right improvements? So guys, people are paying upwards of $3,000-$4,000 for these courses that sort of teach this information, and you can get all of this information, which I think is as in-depth, if not more in-depth than a lot of these courses are teaching, like the online diplomas and things like that. They're going to cost you $3,000 or $4,000. This is going to cost you $70. And it is going to teach you, like, honestly, 95% of the information about nutrition that you'll ever need to know. So if you are looking to upgrade your skills and your nutritional knowledge, I highly recommend grabbing a copy of this. I will drop the link to purchase the book in the description box, but the feedback so far has been awesome on this. So highly recommend grabbing a copy. Let me know what you think. Alrighty guys, welcome to the educational segment of the video. I'm going to continue with these because the feedback on them has been pretty positive. I like with these videos trying to keep it a little bit of a mix, so a little bit of training, a little bit of lifestyle stuff, and a little bit of education as well, because I do want you guys to take at least something away from these videos. And like going to the beach and having nice brekkies is fun, but it doesn't teach you guys a whole lot. And one of my biggest motivations for starting this channel is to try and put out valuable information, share, educate as much as I can. So as you can guess from the thumbnail and the title of this video, this little segment is going to be on hunger hacks. So strategies that we can use when hunger starts becoming difficult to manage, i.e. in a fat loss phase when calories come quite low. So the first tip, and Gordo's going to put a lovely slide across as I say this, is choosing solid calories over liquid calories. So when most people start in fitness, they think they need to be consuming protein shakes, but consuming liquids and shakes during a fat loss phase can actually make managing hunger more difficult. Now, in a 2011 study, they gave participants either a solid chicken breast to eat normally with a fork and knife, or to have that same chicken breast blended
with water and drunk as a shake. And what they actually saw was that the participants were actually hungrier after consuming the shake version of the chicken breast compared to having the solid version of the chicken breast. So what that tells us is that liquid calories probably fine for like bulking periods when hunger is not really an issue. But when we're trying to lose fat and we're trying to adhere to low calories, it's pretty smart to limit liquid calories and shakes as much as possible because it's just going to make managing hunger a little bit easier to do. So our second tip is to chew your food frequently. Now, in a previous study, they put participants into 3 groups and they were given access to an unlimited pasta buffet. Now, they had conditions for each of the participants. 1/3 of the participants, they had to chew each mouthful 10 times before swallowing. The second third of the participants, they had to chew 35 times each mouthful before swallowing. And then the final third, they could just chew as much as frequently as they wanted. And what they found was that the group, or the portion of the group that had to chew each mouthful very frequently, i.e. 35 times, they actually consumed significantly less overall pasta than the other 2 groups. So what does this tell us? Well, if you're in a fat loss phase where hunger is starting to get high, take lots of chews per mouthful and don't scoff your food, because if you take more chews per mouthful, it's going to allow that satiety to kick in and you're going to feel more full from those meals. Tip 3 is to not vary your food selection too much. Now, in one study, participants were told they could eat as much mac and cheese as they wanted in a lab testing session. One half of the participants, so one group, they attended this mac and cheese session once per week for 5 weeks. The other group, they did their 5 mac and cheese sessions, but one day after the other, so 5 days straight. Now, in the daily group, who did it 5 days straight, they ate the most mac and cheese on the first day, and then each day after that, the consumption of the mac and cheese gradually went down. But in the weekly group, they consumed, again, about the same amount on the first week, but as the second, third, fourth, and fifth week went by, they continued to eat the same amount of mac and cheese, and their intake actually went up. So their calorie intake actually went up as each week went across. So what does this tell us? Well, it's smart to reduce variety in our diet when trying to maintain low calories. So stick to the same sort of foods day in, day out. Because what this study shows us is that people eat less of a food and they're less hungry when they have it a lot. She's had enough. So tip 4 is don't make your food taste too good. Now, this one's a hairy one for a lot of people because they think like a diet will be easier if their food tastes really nice because you want to follow it more. It doesn't always pan out that way. So in a study, participants were given their favorite food, whatever they wanted, and they were told that they could eat as much as they wanted in 5 minutes. This was called the pleasurable feeding session. Then the researchers calculated what they consumed in this session, and in another session a few days later, they gave them the same amount of calories that they consumed, but in a non-pleasurable blend of bread, butter, and milk. So ghrelin, which is a hunger hormone, was actually higher, and CKK, which is a satiety hormone, was actually lower during the pleasurable feeding session compared to the non-pleasurable feeding session. This means that the participants felt hungrier after eating the really tasty stuff, even though the calories were exactly the same. So if hunger is being tough to manage, keep your foods kind of bland. Don't spice them up too much. Don't add a ton of syrup, sauces, and sweeteners, because if your food tastes too good, the likely result is the hunger is just gonna ramp up, and you're just gonna eat a hell of a lot more of them. So our 5th and final tip is kind of a newbie, but it's an exciting new area of research, and it's to stay away from nice smelling foods. So in a recent study, participants attended a lab session twice while completing a questionnaire. On one occasion, on the first testing session, the researchers scented the room with the smell of fresh baked bread. On the second testing session, it was just unscented. After both sessions, they were given access to
unlimited amount of vegetable soup. So like a pretty bland food, like nothing too exciting. But what the researchers actually saw was that the participants consumed substantially more vegetable soup after the session where the room was scented with fresh bread. So what this tells us is that sort of being exposed to really nice smelling foods, it actually ramps up our hunger and it can increase our drive to eat for even sort of average tasting foods. So what do we take away from this? Well, it's smart to stay away from like fresh baked cookies or your favorite cafe spot where you usually get your bacon and eggs if you're on a fat loss phase, because the likely result is going to smell these foods, it's going to ramp up your hunger, and it's just going to make sticking to your calorie target even more difficult. So that is my top 5 tips for managing hunger. Try them out if you are in a fat loss phase. I do use them with my clients frequently and have had a lot of success with them. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the educational segment. If you've got any questions, please drop them below. And if you have any topics that you'd like me to cover in future educational portions, feel free to drop them below or send me a DM on Instagram. Peace. Alrighty, we've got a cheeky meal 3 going down here with special guest Paulie Boot. What's up, guys? Paulie's been one of my best mates for a long time, known each other for many years. What have we got? I'm hitting, as usual, chicken teriyaki with rice and a bit of pickled ginger. Paulie's got the lemongrass chicken with rice as well. We got secret men's business to talk about, so I'm going to cut the video off here, but I'll catch you in the next clip. Alrighty, what's up guys? Got another meal going down. I've got here, if you can see, cheeky oat bowl. I've had it in the fridge because I made it earlier, but it's got 100 grams of oats, 60 grams of protein matrix, stevia, salt, and just some raspberries on top. And I've got, you can't see it, but there's a tablespoon of peanut butter like mixed through the middle. Last couple of hours, I've just been knocking out client work. This month or year so far has been crazy with clients. I've basically had, we're at the 7th of January today, and I've basically had a sign up every day of this month, whether that's for 12, 24 or 52-week plans. So I hate to say it, but I'm getting close to my coaching cap, like the max amount of clients I'll be able to handle, which is kind of crazy because it's a good problem to have, I guess, but it's something I didn't think I'd have to deal with at least for a little while. So yeah, last couple of hours just been knocking out work. Would much rather be doing a bit of this. Gucci's having a lovely little nap. But it is 4 o'clock now. I'm gonna get this meal down. Then gonna head to boxing for 5:30. Be there for an hour and a half. I'll try and get some footage for that, but not sure if I will be able to. And then if not, I'll catch you guys for the next meal. Session is a wrap. Time to eat. Alrighty, we have finished boxing. We've got a couple of special guests as well for this one. We've got Jordo and Larissa, you in?
Hi.
We just smashed boxing for about an hour. We were sweat sesh, now getting in meal 5. So we have Terry's all round, double chicken for me and Jordo. Larissa with the secret bok choy. So we're just gonna hit this, chill out for a bit, and then I'll catch you guys in the next clip. Alrighty, it is roughly 10:30 p.m. and the last meal is going down now. Just got my usual last meal of the night. So it's casein pudding, 60 grams of casein, mixed in with a little bit of water until it turns into like a mousse. Got 25 grams of peanut butter mixed in through there, so it's got like a peanut buttery taste. And then my berries on top of that. No carbs, because carbs at night make you fat. Just joking. So very excited because I'm about to watch
the season premiere of The Promised Neverland, which just dropped today, actually. So for those who don't know, Promised Neverland is an anime. It's only one season out so far, only 12 episodes, but I was freaking hooked. From like second episode, I basically binge watched it in like a couple of days because it was so damn good. So they left it on a cliffhanger, end of season 1, so I'm freaking hype to watch this. So gonna shut the video down. I need to watch this show badly. Might show you a little bit if I can, but my eyes will probably be glued to the screen. So as always, thank you for watching the video. If you've got any feedback, recommendations, please drop a comment below. And if you can support the channel in any way possible, a like, a comment, share the Instagram story, I would be eternally grateful. See you guys in the next vid.
鬼なんだよな、あんたもあの男も。教えてくれよなあ、鬼さんよ。